And out
Just
loud.
gets him every time. I could give you a recommendation for a gastroenterologist to see, Lewis. Are we live? I have no idea. Seems like nothing's working. We should just give up. I think the talk show is starting. It's not too late to catch it. Oh, no, it's... Never mind. Boom! And we're live. And we got the 20 from Hugo last. Hugo, where you been? We're desperate for money over here. Hugo, we missed you so much. And by we, I mean Leander Caney. He's going to love that 20. Did you win? You sure did, my friend. You won at life. You've got enough money to just throw it away on a podcast like this. We know that you're winning. That's obvious. Just don't gloat. All right.
Go ahead and gloat.
Maybe a little bit.
Hugo did not win the prediction game.
Oh, is that what he's referring to?
Oh my God, the prediction game. Oh,
I completely forgot
I
about it.
dread that. Is it possible to go negative in the prediction game?
Well,
I feel like I might have actually
it's
scored
always the
negative
first time for
points.
everything. Should we do that next time? If you get one wrong, you get a negative point. So Griffin wins with like 140 points, and we get like negative 60 each. All right.
I would have to get something right for that to happen, and that did not happen this time.
Yeah.
I think we all got a little out over our skis.
God, that was a tough one. That was really a tough one. We'll see what happens. We all tie with 0. How about that? All right. Should we go ahead and get this thing moving? We got so much show. And we don't have any time left. We got like 18 minutes left to do this show. So I think we should go ahead and queue up Mrs. You Know Who. And we'll get it moving. Oh, Mrs. D. Mrs. D, she's so excited with us. Oh, my dear, did someone say tie? Oh, no. I tied up El Caney before we made love last night. Ugh! Lewis, did you ever see that
Tweet?
Vince,
No, I missed
that
it.
Vince Vaughn movie, Wedding Crashers?
Oh, yeah.
See that scene where he got tied up? I think that's what she's talking about.
Can't remember it, of course.
Yeah, of course. Mrs. D, don't say anything more about that, please. No one wants to hear about your adventures with El Caney, although I'm glad to hear that he's still with us. You want the tweet action, Lewis? This might be the best one yet.
I'd love it.
Here it comes. Cover your ears. Did the mic even pick that up?
Did, yeah.
Of course it did.
Because this mic is so directional. You know, it's like barely.
Yeah, it was
catches
slightly.
Was it muted?
Well, it was tolerable. Let's
I
put
don't
it
want
that
to
way.
deafen you guys.
Exactly.
Okay. I think we're ready to go. Let's go ahead, get the music going. Mrs. D, warm up those vocal cords, and we'll get the show rolling in 3 and 2. Hello, and welcome to the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute album conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airphone Legend. Join me today. When he retires, he's considering relocating to a non-extradition country. Just in case any of the Cult of Mac writers complain to authorities about his disciplinary practices. He's the managing editor of Cult of Mac. Lewis Willis is here.
Hey.
Hey. Also with us. He's been caulking the cracks in his Vision Pro in an attempt to waterproof it. Then he can wear it in the shower, which is the one time of the week he has to take it off. He's a writer for Cult of Mac. Griffin Jones is here.
Good evening. Erfan, how are you feeling this week
Oh, terrific.
with relation to the prediction game that we played last week?
Oh, man. I really don't know. I either absolutely dominated or I lost by like the biggest margin that's ever existed within the prediction game. That was such a tough one. And I could barely remember when I was watching the release what we had even talked about. Like, because as soon as the show's over, I just, can barely remember it. So I don't know. But we'll talk about the results of the prediction game at the end of the episode. And we'll, of course, talk all about the new iPhone 16e. God, what a weird name. The 16e. I don't know,
it stands for?
Exceptionally unimpressive. Oh, I'm just joking.
It stands for Erfan.
Yeah, that's right. Which is ironic because I have no plans on buying it. But yeah, we'll talk all about it. Some people love it, some people hate it. We'll talk about everything. We also have our best look yet now at the new iPhone 17 Air. Dude, I don't know. We'll look at the. I mean, you probably all saw this week. You probably saw the. I don't know if I should call them leaks. The what do I even call it?
Renders.
The mock-ups, the renders. Thank you. Of it. It looks great, but I just don't know if I believe that that's it. I mean, the fact that Gurman has basically said that he doesn't think that's it makes me think that it's probably not it. So I don't know. We'll talk about all of it. We'll show it. What else do we have here? Oh, we got a big update coming for the Vision Pro that Griffin's excited about because he's the only one that has one. I mean, literally the only one. I think he's like the only one left that has one. I'm just joking. I would love to have one. If they were cheaper, I would buy one again. We've got some more studio display news. I'll tell you why it's probably getting time to sell it if you have one. We'll do the prediction game results. Before we dive in, a quick announcement. If you can hear this, that's good. We switched our podcast hosting platform for the first time in a long time this week. It's always kind of nerve-wracking when that happens because it can mean that some of you have issues accessing the show. So if you do have issues, just unsubscribe and don't forget to resubscribe. And that should fix it. It should be seamless, like you shouldn't even notice. But this new platform is going to enable us to do some other cool stuff. And the one thing I wanted to highlight is if you look at the show notes, there is a link right at the very top that says send us a text. Guess what that does, Lewis? You'll never guess.
I'm just guessing. Maybe it sends us a text.
Oh, someone told you.
I was
Yeah.
thinking it sent an email.
No, it doesn't do that, although that would also be nice.
Whose phone does it go to?
It goes to our podcast platform. So if you have our app installed, Lewis, I can tell you how this works. You'll actually just see the messages come in. So we'll start reading these messages on the show. It's really super simple to use. Like you just press the send us a text link. It will open up messages and you can just text us and it will come right to us. And we'll start reading some of these messages on the show. So that's available in all your podcast platforms in the show notes, wherever you access the podcasts. And I also want to give a big, huge, hearty thank you to Squarespace for supporting this episode. You all know that I don't even need to do this podcast anymore. I've thought about quitting just because I make so much money off CultCloth. It's the closest thing that I've ever had to a legal U.S. mint. And I might actually have to open up my own U.S. mint location at a certain point just to print the dollars faster because they just keep coming in. And the entire CultCloth platform is powered by Squarespace. I mean, I chose Squarespace because I think they have the easiest website for setting up an e-commerce site. And they have all these really great features built in. They have this feature called Squarespace Blueprint, which has a bunch of different professionally curated layouts and styling options that you can choose from. And you can I almost said dilly-dally. That makes absolutely no sense in this context. You can play around with it. You can also dilly-dally if you want.
Please don't dilly-dally.
Take a break. Do some dallying. Then come back, and you can tweak the website so easily. Everything's like drag and drop. It's like the Apple of the podcast world. It's like what iWeb could have been if Apple had actually made it good. So easy to use, so easy to make your website look uniquely yours. It will be tailored to your brand or business, optimized for every device. It's just so easy. You can do it all by yourself. Everything will be optimized from an SEO perspective so that you actually show up in search. They have all these great features for e-commerce, like flexible payments built in. You can accept credit cards, PayPal, Apple Pay. You can, in eligible countries, do buy now and pay later, and Afterpay and ClearPay. And you can sell anything: physical products, digital products, courses. You could create a membership website. I mean, you name it. You can do it on your Squarespace website. And you can also just create basic websites to promote your business or, personal endeavors. And I pay for it every month. Absolutely love it. Squarespace.com/CultCast for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. With code CultCast at checkout, Squarespace.com/CultCast. And use the offer code CultCast at checkout on your first purchase to get that 10% off. I do a year of service at a time, which also gives you an additional discount, a nice discount if I do say so myself. All right. Where should we start? There's so many places we could begin, but I think we should send it over to old Lewis Wallace for a recap. iPhone 16e. What is it, Lewis? Why should people care? You got to convince us.
I have to convince us. You mean
Well-
Tim Cook didn't do that the other day?
I mean, he in his best artificial manner and his whispered tones.
He tried. Yeah, so the iPhone 16e replaced the iPhone SE this week as Apple's budget model. Got a thorough redesign with a larger screen, impressive longer battery life, a more robust camera, and a processor that can handle Apple Intelligence. Thank heavens it can handle Apple Intelligence. Can you
I
imagine?
know.
Can you imagine having an iPhone that didn't have Apple Intelligence? Oh my
I
God!
literally can't.
The horror.
It'd have to be half the price.
Let's see. iPhone 16e comes equipped with Apple's latest A18 chip found in the iPhone 16 series. It's 40% faster than iPhone SE3 that it replaced, and 80% faster than iPhone 11.
The iPhone 11. Give me a break.
I love the way they compare to like
I know a lot of people who recently upgraded from an iPhone 11.
Wow.
There's a lot of
really?
them out there.
Okay, maybe that's why they
mean-
they use that comparison.
basically
And
the same.
especially for this product, like this iPhone SE and or iPhone 16e is going to be sold to people who keep their phone a long time. So, that's the people who they're trying to market this for.
Yeah, that's an interesting observation.
So we heard rumors about this before, but it's true. The iPhone 16e introduced Apple's first in-house designed cellular modem, the Apple C1. This is a quote from
That was
Kyan
definitely-
Drance.
That was definitely a loss for me in the predictions game.
I heard that and I said, "Oh, okay, great."
I just lost the point. Can I just
Kyan-
interrupt? This
You just
predictions
did.
game is ruining
Gonna
all my
interrupt how many
fun.
times?
Well, at least I like to have at least 2 or 3 interruptions per segment. The predictions game, I love that we do it, but it almost ruins the announcements for me because I just sit there disappointed. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, there's a lost
Hands.
point. There's a lost point. Oh, great. I know that Griffin's patting himself on the back right now.
I had a lot of those
I
too.
wasn't every day until Wednesday, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's true.
When Monday came and went, when Tuesday just sailed right past, that's how I was feeling the rest of the week.
So you were depressed Monday and Tuesday. I was only depressed Wednesday. Okay, so that makes me feel better. Sorry, Lewis.
Well,
continue.
I was less depressed on Wednesday, but then I added up the scores. So
Oh, boy. All right, Lewis.
Okay.
Sorry.
Kyan Drance, Apple's VP of iPhone product marketing, said that the C1, quote, provides fast and reliable connectivity, and it's the most power efficient modem ever in
Yeah.
an iPhone.
That's a big deal.
There you go. I mean, that's a pretty impressive little thing to have. tucked in
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
Supposedly the combination of the chip and the modem, I guess the size is a little smaller, or design, whatever. Anyway, they yielded a design with more battery space, resulting in the best battery life ever in a 6.1-inch iPhone. 4 hours longer than the iPhone 16 at streaming video. Shocking. That's a big plus.
Yeah.
Let's see. Same 48 megapixel fusion sensor as the iPhone 16 camera with optical 2x telephoto zoom. It's just not so good with video. I don't know. This says it can record 4K 60 with spatial audio, sound mixing, and noise reduction. I read there were some things that were not as good about it as far as capturing video.
it's not as good as the iPhone 16 Pro, which can do 4K 120. But it's the same as
But
the
that's such a
regular
niche
iPhone
feature
16.
for most people.
I see.
Like, yeah.
I'm never
it also
clear on that
doesn't-
stuff because none of it, my
it
eyes
also-
can't see the difference in any of it. So
It also doesn't do spatial video recording for the Vision Pro.
I
So
saw that as a
sorry.
big bummer for all those Vision Pro owners.
They also,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely, if you're a Vision Pro owner, you don't want the cheapest possible iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you're a Vision Pro owner, you can't afford anything else, so you have to get the cheapest iPhone.
But you can't. You're not allowed. Anyway, let's see. What else we know about it? Has the action button that the other ones does not have the camera button. This was a shocker to me, and I don't know why I didn't think of this in the first place. You can activate visual intelligence with the action button, like if you customize it so that it says that.
Okay.
Which I thought, no way they're going to do this without the camera button or camera control, strictly because of visual intelligence. And sure enough, Apple is smarter than me. What do you know? New iPhone 16e comes in either matte white or matte black. Starts at 128 gigabytes of storage. And here's maybe the most disappointing thing. Costs $599 minimum.
Yeah.
Pre-
Although they did up
Pre-orders.
the storage.
Pre-order start Friday. Yeah, it's more storage, but it's also
Of course, the storage
What,
costs Apple a
100
quarter per phone.
$175 more, right, than the iPhone
Yeah.
SE.
I think that
price.
one of the reasons that it's so much more expensive, and I think something that we may have missed when we were talking about this last week, is tariffs. I think
Yeah.
Apple is now taking into account tariffs on this phone.
You think?
I think so.
I mean, you also have to consider like where it's slotted into. Like a lot of people only pay attention to like the current model iPhone, but Apple has these different product slots of the cheaper ones. Like for $100 less than the iPhone 16, you can get the iPhone 15. For $100 less than that, you could previously get the iPhone 14, and for even less than that, you could previously get the iPhone SE 3. This has taken the slot of the 2 years old phone. So the iPhone 14 is gone. This takes that position, and it's at the same price point. However, because this was rumored to be an iPhone SE product, people were expecting it to be cheaper. And I think like
Yeah.
Apple might be doing a different strategy. I mean, we can tell they're going for a different strategy here because it's not called iPhone SE anymore. It's called iPhone 16e. I'm thinking that maybe, unlike the iPhone SE, which is released at one price point and stays at that same exact price for its entire life until it's eventually replaced, I wouldn't be surprised if after the iPhone 17 comes out, the iPhone 16e has its price reduced over time as it gets older. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they've done that with other things.
they might even make an E model phone every year in the spring. Like in February 2026, there might be an iPhone 17e. We don't know.
That's what made it. As soon as they switched the number with that, I'm like, wow, are they going to do this every year? Maybe so.
Maybe every other year. Who knows?
Yeah. It's hard to say, but I could see that happening. And, every year they would have to change the features that are included, which we'll go through this list in a minute. Like, there's so much stuff missing from this phone, and we'll talk about
Okay,
what's
we've
missing.
said all the positive things we can say about it. Let's move on to the next story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot positive to say. I mean, that's not to say that this phone isn't a good phone. I think it's actually going to sell really well. I just think that this phone is probably not meant for us or people listening to this show. I could be wrong about that. I mean, to your point, Griffin, a lot of people keep their phones for a long time. And there are people that buy a Mac and keep it for 10 years and then upgrade, and there are people that do the same thing with their iPhones. I find that hard to believe because I feel like phones decay a lot faster than Macs do. Like after 4 or 5 years, I feel like they start to have like some serious issues. And if you have any problems at all, they can't fix them. They basically have to just give you a new phone. But in any case,
Give you a no phone?
well, I mean, when I say give, I mean, in exchange for a
Some
huge
money.
fee. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't want to bash this phone. A lot of people are bashing it because I'm happy that there is a lower priced option out here. And I think for a lot of people, a lot of the missing features that we're going to talk about, they're just not going to care about. I'm like, does it have OLED? Yes. I think that's like a huge upgrade. Is it going to have the fastest, most current processor? Yes, even though there's a caveat there too. And
But you're missing the big one.
what was that?
There's the big missing feature that it doesn't have. It doesn't have MagSafe.
Well, I know, but
There's no MagSafe.
and I think that for people like us, that's a huge hit. Just like not having ProMotion is a huge hit. But I think for most just normies, they don't even know what MagSafe is.
Really?
And they probably don't even
There's-
use it. Would be my guess.
There's an
I don't
in-group
know.
and out-group. There are people who don't know what MagSafe is at all, but then there are people who like fill their house with MagSafe accessories and think it's like the best thing ever. Like, in my opinion, it is one of the best uniquely iPhone features. Like, yeah, there's Qi 2 on Android, but like only a couple Android phones have it so far. Like, the world of MagSafe accessories is like such a magical
I agree with
land to live in.
I agree
And,
with
like,
you.
Absolutely, absolutely true.
Like I've got, and I've talked about this before, like I've got like this little cheap iPhone stand that I keep my phone on that I got on Amazon for like $15. And it's just a dumb stand. It doesn't do anything. Griffin's
I've
got
got
one
one
too.
too.
Sorry, I wasn't showing you on the screen. And I love this thing, man. Like, and being able to just snap it onto the back and just have it be used as a stand is so nice, and not to have it just laying flat on my desk and not charging. I don't always want to have my phone charging, so I just like that this is just like a dumb stand that just holds it basically. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about what you're not going to get. And there's a list. There's a list. Oh, I'm ahead of myself. Everything Apple stripped out of iPhone 16 to make the iPhone 16e. Where do we even begin? I'll end with the first thing on this list, which is the price. But let's talk about this first. So you don't get an ultra wide camera, which I think is a huge hit. It's kind of a major bummer that for this price you only get one single camera. The ultra wide is gone. Dynamic islands, I'm not surprised. Also doesn't make an appearance here. You just get the regular old notch, which, whatever, not the end of the world, but the dynamic island is definitely a very cool feature.
You say you're not surprised, but you did vote for that in the prediction game.
Did I? Oh, I don't even remember.
Really?
This is why I'm probably in the negative on the
Sorry,
predictions.
spoil it. I'll stop spoiling it.
All right. Camera control. Now, I think that was a point. Griffin. I said no. And you know what? Not a big loss.
Yeah, some people might consider that actually an upgrade.
Color options, not a lot of colors. You only get white and black, but what do you expect? I'm missing GPU core, so the caveat I spoke about earlier, it gets the newest Apple A18 chip, but you don't get the same amount of cores as you do with the iPhone 16. So the regular core count on the iPhone 16 is 5 CPU cores, or GPU cores, excuse me. And on the iPhone 16e, you get 4. Is it going to matter? I don't know. Hard to say. If you play a lot of games on your phone, maybe. But, hard to say. You get a downgraded display. And by that, I'm talking about the ceramic shield. So the newest phones use the current generation of ceramic shield, and the budget model uses an older version of ceramic shield. So it's going to be less protective. The display also doesn't get as bright. The iPhone 16 reaches 1,000 nits. The 16e only reaches 800 nits. And outdoors, those extra 200 nits, I think you're going to notice. That's going to make a big difference.
Well, it does have
like
the
2,000
extra display
outdoor
boost where it goes up to 1,200 nits.
Oh, 1,200? I thought it was 2,000.
The 16
standard
models
version.
go up to 2,000.
The regular one, okay.
Which that is a huge hit. Thank you. I should have pointed that out. We're talking about the typical brightness. So on the 16, it's 1,000. 16e is 800. But with boost, when you're outdoors, the 16 can go up to 2,000 nits. That is hugely bright.
1,200, not 2,000.
1,200. Thank you. And the standard vision can go up to 2,000 nits. And 1,200, I think, is probably bright enough. But in very bright scenarios, you're going to notice that it doesn't look very bright. MagSafe, which Griffin already talked about, huge omission. The iPhone 16e doesn't have MagSafe in any way, shape, or form. It can do wireless charging, but only at 7.5 watts, which, what's the point at that point?
It's basically like a lot of people are also saying that like if you get a case that has a MagSafe ring in it, then it would technically be compatible with MagSafe devices and that it would charge at the slower Qi charging rate at 7.5 watts instead of 15 or 30 or whatever MagSafe is at now.
Up to 25 if you use the right charger.
Yeah, but it also wouldn't do like it wouldn't do the fancy thing where you can attach like a MagSafe wallet to it and it would, be able to track its location or any stuff like that. And it's kind of weird that even Apple's like official cases for the iPhone 16e don't have like that fake MagSafe ring in them. And so that it could be more MagSafe compatible. Like one of the best things about MagSafe isn't even just like the charging or accessories, but like it's the simple fact that like sticking it on a stand and taking it off is just so much faster and easier. Like I have a MagSafe charging puck in my car. That's like my favorite thing ever.
It is.
I can't imagine shifting away from MagSafe. I would just be heartbroken.
And like, I know I'm basically asking for the same phone as an iPhone 16 except much cheaper, and that's not realistic. Like if I were to accept a trade-off, because the whole engineering of this phone is designed through picking different trade-offs, I would have taken an even worse display if it meant I could get MagSafe back. I think having MagSafe is more expensive than having an OLED display.
It must have been so hard to like look at all the features of the iPhone 16 and say, okay, how do we create a phone that's $400 cheaper, or not $400 cheaper since it's the 16, but how do we create a phone that's not going to compete with our higher price phones? Like what stuff do we have to pull out? And scrutinizing over which details are going to make the cut or not. Like that would actually be a really hard endeavor, I feel like. Okay, let me finish this.
Like,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, go. No, you go ahead.
Let me finish the list real fast. Other things that you probably want to know, it doesn't have the minimum 1 nit brightness, doesn't have sensor shift OIS, which means your images are not going to be as stabilized. No thread chip, which for me would be another big one because I have thread accessories in my home. I think a really big hit is no Wi-Fi 7, no Wi-Fi 6E. You're going to be stuck with Wi-Fi 6. Dude, Wi-Fi 6. That is significantly slower. And let me go back to, I think, the number one problem with this phone. That is the price. $600 for this phone. I think that's where they really missed it. I think that this is a $500 phone. With all the stuff that it's missing, I think $500 would have been a much more fair price for this phone. $600 still feels kind of premium, and you're missing a lot of features, and I wouldn't recommend this phone. Like, it seems like you would be better off buying a refurbished iPhone 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, which you could probably get a 15 Pro Max for the same price as this phone. And that seems like a much better buy, in my opinion. So I don't know how Apple's going to deal with that. And maybe most people would not consider buying a refurbished phone or a used phone. Maybe that's the play. But I certainly wouldn't recommend this phone. I would tell people to buy a refurbished older model because I think it's going to serve you much better. What were we going to say, Griffin?
It's also missing the ultra wideband chip. And
right.
The newer phones are on the second generation ultra wideband chip. This doesn't even have the U1 chip. So you don't get any precision finding feature with AirTags or other iPhones.
That's true. And, you know, this phone is only $200 less than the iPhone 16. And I'm like,
yeah, and if you look at the monthly, what's the monthly difference? Probably like $5 a month or something.
Yeah, maybe not even that much. So I'm like, for $200 more, it seems like you would just be better off getting the iPhone 16. I don't know.
It doesn't come in like the fun colors, and Apple's line is, oh, but you can make it colorful with their cases. And like,
you're also
two out of the 5 colors are black and white. Again, one of them is like this maroon. One of them is this ugly green. Like it comes in one fun color with the Apple official case.
Huh.
We got Hubax from the chat. If I upgrade my iPhone 10s, I hope it's a Max, a 10s Max, will I fall in love with MagSafe? Well, I'd say you fall in love with a lot of things. When did the 10s come out? I used to have that phone. Yeah. Wow.
Nice rounded edges. Remember that?
Oh, wait. That was a great phone. I really did love that phone. I think it's time to upgrade. Yeah, I would do it.
That was the phone that had the really awful overactive HDR and the image sharpening. So
yeah,
you'll really love the cameras of the new ones.
Yeah. I think I actually turned it off after a while. Am I missing anything else? I think I captured it. I think that was pretty much everything. Again, I don't think that this phone is for the people in this audience, but it is good to know the pros and cons.
There are a lot of young people who may listen to the show,
sure.
Teenagers who are just given a phone by their parents, and they don't really have a choice of it. Their parents are just going to buy them the cheapest phone, and this is probably what every teenager is going to be given over the next few years. And it's sad
you may be right about
won't
that.
live in the MagSafe world.
Yeah, you may be right about that. Plus, you can get it on a payment plan, and it has a warranty, so it does make sense for teens.
$8 difference a month. I just looked at the prices.
Is it really $8
for 2 years, 24 months? It's $8 difference.
Wow,
25
I wouldn't think
versus
it'd be
33.
that much. That's huge.
Yeah, I know. It's.
Okay.
I as far as the price goes, I completely agree with you, Irfan. If it was $4.99, none of us would be harshing on the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so close in price to the iPhone 16. It would be hard to not go ahead and spend that extra $8 a month.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of my conclusion. Is the miss is not the specs, the miss is the price. I just feel like the price is too high for the specs that you get. So,
well, if you're right about the
dog.
tariff thing, and then the iPhone 17 price jumps $100,
I think it will. I've seen some people talking about that on Twitter, aka the all new X, and I don't see Apple taking a 10% hit on the price. And it's been forever since they've raised the price. And I know we talk about it every year. They're going to raise the price. They're going to raise the price. I think this is going to be the year that the iPhones all get like $100 price raise.
If nothing else, they'll just blame it on Trump. They'll blame it on the tariffs.
I mean, yeah, it's the same reason that,
and it might be legit. I mean,
or just take MagSafe out of everything. Sorry.
there you
No
go.
one
That's the
gets
other option.
MagSafe.
Oh my God!
Go back
we
to
would storm
regular
the White
LCD.
House. Get rid of the tariffs. We gotta have MagSafe.
Yeah, I think this is it, man. I mean, it's the same reason that companies all do layoffs all at the same time. It's because if a company does layoffs when no one else is doing it, it makes them look bad, like they're underperforming or something. But if the layoffs are happening everywhere, it's the perfect opportunity. It's like, well, cost cutting measures. It's like every once in a while you gotta do them. This is gonna be it, guys. This is gonna be the year that the base iPhone Pro model goes to $1,100, and the frickin' Max is gonna be like astronomical, $1,400 or something crazy. All right, there you go. The iPhone 16e. Paradise from the chat. Oh no, that's not you, Paradise. Dipsy Doo wants to know what's the E stand for. It stands for Airphone. I was so honored when Tim asked me if it would be okay to use, and I actually said no. I was like, because he wanted to call it the iPhone 16 Airphone edition, and I was like, I don't feel like this phone is representative of the features I would want people to have. And he said, what if I just shorten it to E? And I said, okay, that's fine. Just leave me out of the documentation. If anyone from the press asks you, please just leave my name out of it. But
Actually, I sent Apple PR folks an email yesterday asking, what does the E mean? You won't believe this. No reply.
Oh, shocking. Okay.
They don't answer every question. I think it stands for efficient, though.
Actually,
efficient.
John Gruber mentioned this. He said in an online press briefing today, when asked whether the E stands for anything, an Apple rep said no, it does not stand for anything, but that it's built for everyone.
Oh, God. Everyone.
That's just...
well, okay,
that's just
fine.
precious. Entry level. There you go.
Yeah.
The iPhone 16 entry level. I love it, Betty. Okay, let's move on. You know what I'm saying, Lewis? But before we do,
Fantastic news.
let me promote something to you all. It's a product that you may have heard of. It's a product that I really love. It's called CultCloth. I'm not going to say very much about it. I'll just keep it really short and sweet. Thank you for everyone who's ordered thousands and thousands and thousands of orders. The best way to keep all of your technology clean, your glasses sparkling clean, nothing works better. CultCloth.co. Oh, look at that. I don't know if Griffin is wiping his forehead or his glasses with those. They work great for both, actually. CultCloth.co, CultCloth.co to lock in your CultCloth, which supports me, supports the show. And if you use code CultCast at checkout, you'll get a free carry cloth, our all-new carry cloth, with orders $20 plus. CultCloth.co. Thank you all for your support. Let's move on. You know what? This might be my favorite story of the week, but I hesitate to be excited about it because I just don't know if this is it. You know what I mean? I just don't know. But I'll send it over to Griffin to talk about the iPhone 17 Air. We got our first look here, supposedly.
So on Monday, John Prosser shared some iPhone 17 Air renders based on pretty much the final design, according to his Front Page Tech YouTube channel. The images show a sleek iPhone with flat sides and rounded edges. Hey, what's new? The device is so slim that the USB-C port isn't or can't be centered on the Y-axis, Prosser wrote on X. The port is closer to the back of the phone than it is to the front. The iPhone XR, 11, and 12, I think, the base models, also had an offset lightning port connector, and that really bugged me. That really irritated me. I think it was because they had an LCD display instead of OLED. But man, it's nice. It's an Apple product. It should be centered. But apparently this device is so thin that they can't center it. Interestingly, the device might feature a horizontal camera bar at the top, similar to Google's Pixel lineup. But despite running across the phone horizontally, it'll house only one camera with the microphone and LED flash on the other end of the bar. I think it's a neat look. Previous reports suggest the iPhone 17 Air will pack a single 48 megapixel rear camera. Apple purportedly will follow the same design language in the iPhone 17 Pro lineup. The horizontal camera bar will be larger on the Pro models to accommodate 3 camera sensors.
Oh man,
It's going to be a
that
big bar.
yeah.
The latest leaks point to an MSRP of $899, making the phone $100 cheaper than the Pro model. Well, it could be $100 cheaper than the Pro model and be $999 with these price raises. You never know.
Yeah.
The slim iPhone will also stand out for using Apple's in-house Wi-Fi and Bluetooth chip, replacing longtime partner Broadcom. So, I guess to clarify, Qualcomm is the company that supplies like the cellular modems, and that's what the C1 chip replaces. This is another new chip that Apple is developing, replacing the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth stuff by Broadcom, which is a different company with a similar name.
Not confusing at all.
Yeah.
You know, there could be like a whole documentary made on Apple's development of the C1 chip. I think that development has been ongoing for like 7-8 years. And
Since they bought Intel's modem chip division in 2019.
Wow. And I think I'm plagiarizing Flark Sherman here, who said that all of that work goes into like a 1-sentence press release, but it's such a massive endeavor that Apple has accomplished, and a 25% reduction, or I should say, reduction in energy usage is going to mean better battery life across all Apple's iPhones. And 25%, I mean, that's a pretty big number. I mean, that's for energy efficiency for the C1 chip. Who knows how much extra battery life you'll get out of your phone because of that. But yeah, Griffin.
I think Apple kept the C1 kind of underplayed because unlike Apple's like processors, like the M1, which was unabashedly better in every single way than the Intel chips before them, the C1 isn't actually better than the Qualcomm chip in every meaningful way.
Right.
It's more efficient, and so that's the one thing they
And
can,
I heard probably
a
slower.
marketing point. But it doesn't support 5G millimeter wave. It only supports like the lower, standard 6 gigahertz band of 5G.
The thing that you've used one time in your life when you went past at a convention center.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not actually better in every way than the Qualcomm chip before
Right.
it. So I bet the C2 chip will get like a big fanfare if and when that comes out.
So for those of you watching, I just want to point out there's kind of 2 versions of this phone that John Prosser has in his video here. There is the iPhone 17 Air version, which basically has like one pill-sized, like long capsule that goes across the entire top of the back of the phone, which it houses like all the camera stuff that is on your phone now in that little square up on the top left. And then there's the Pro version that has a much thicker pill that encompasses the 3 cameras. So that's why there's 2 different pictures here. I hope that he's right. I really do. I think this is a really cool design. He seems to be pretty confident about it. I was watching the dialogue. This is so funny. Watching Gurman go in there and just be like, nope, not going to happen. Like, and I don't remember the context, so I don't remember exactly what he was saying wasn't going to happen. And John's like, well, I'm not sure. Are you positive, Mark? Like, I think this is the way it's going to work. And Mark's just like, no,
Yeah. Did you watch Prosser's video?
I actually haven't watched the video.
He actually says like, he doesn't get super explicit, but he says like, this is a render we made based on what I saw.
Okay.
Like he saw, I don't know, mock-ups or prototypes or something.
Right.
That,
Right.
It's once again him saying, I saw this, I got this from a source. I think this is accurate.
And I hope
that's
he's
what he
right.
did with the camera app story from a few weeks ago. Like he didn't want to post exactly the images he was sent because he doesn't want to burn his source.
Right.
He recreated it and came up with these images.
Yeah. I'm just getting, product announcement vibes from before that have been really flashy and newsworthy, and then they just never happened. Like his story on the Apple Watch redesign, his story on the iPhone 16, or was it the 15 redesign? I think it was the 15 actually, where he showed like the cameras being like, inset inside of the actual phone.
Oh,
and
right.
like, the whole back being flush.
I still
Like
want
this
that
new
phone.
design language. I know, me too. It was really cool looking, but like never
Round
happened.
volume buttons.
Yeah. So there's been some stuff that he's done where it's like it looks really cool when it's reported, but then it just never happens. And this kind of has the aroma of that. It's like, wow, that's a really beautiful design. Like that would be really cool. Now I think out of all the stuff he's shown, this I think just from a practical perspective has like the most likely chance of being real, because like this is just a redesign of what you currently have on your iPhone. It's taking the camera area on the back and just stretching it across the whole phone, which I think makes it look more uniform, and it's not anything drastic. It's just like a visual change. So, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But again, I hope his source is a real source and is giving him accurate information, because I feel like he's gotten fed some bad intel in the past. There you go.
Well, more probably in just a few months when the case manufacturers start leaking the specs.
That's true. And dude, this design is so beautiful. Like, I really like this design a lot. I really don't like the unbalanced nature of like the camera area on the back of the phone, like how it just kind of sits on one side, and then when you set your phone down, it like the whole phone rocks. I think having it be a area that goes across the entire top back of the phone makes way more sense, and it looks futuristic and cool. It looks like something out of Blade Runner. I love it. Or a Cyberpunk or something.
Something made by Google. Everybody says it
Nah.
looks just like the Pixel.
Nah, come on, Lewis. Google must have gotten a mole inside of the industrial design team and copied Apple before they released their version. That's what I think happened.
It'll be the lovely, like, subtle attention to detail of the actual finished product that'll make you go, oh, that's not just a Google copy, that's an Apple product right there.
Is there any benefit or negative impact from having the flash that far away from the lenses?
Well, it's still pretty close, so probably not. If you move the flash too far away, sometimes you can get a reflection that comes out of the human eye, which causes red eye in the cameras.
Oh, red eye.
Yeah. So it's better to have the flash as close to the actual lens as possible, so you don't get one of like those reflections. But how far away does it need to be? I couldn't tell you. But
And I can just use the computational photography stuff to just edit
to remove
that
it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, when was the last time you saw humans having red eyes in photos? That literally never happens anymore. It was so common for so long.
Can you set up like a photographic style for demon eyes, so everybody has red eyes again?
I haven't tried
Bring
that.
red eyes back.
Yeah. All right.
I forgot all about that. What a flashback to the good old days
A
of
literal
film
flashback.
photography.
Yeah. Hey-o. Lewis, you did that on purpose.
He scores.
All right. Let's talk quickly about the studio display. Just want to give you all a heads up. If you have the studio display, it might be time to sell it soon. Display analyst Ross Young recently claimed that the next studio display refresh will switch to a mini LED panel. That's going to be a huge upgrade. This will allow better contrast, deeper blacks, higher brightness, while lowering power consumption. This is really what they should have done for the current studio display, because the price is so bonkers. Like a $600 monitor that doesn't have, it's basically just the iMac monitor in a monitor shell. It's just crazy. I won't go into another diatribe about that. After all, I did buy it. But he indicated that the refresh might happen later this year or early next year. So just be aware. If you have one, which I do, I'm going to be selling mine before the new ones come out. Try to get $1,000 for it and prepare for the next one, because the next one's going to be way better. And Ross Young, I think he's one of the most accurate, I don't know if I would call him a leaker, I guess analysts that exist. He has he definitely has sources, because he's gotten so much stuff right in the past. So Gurman also said that Apple is working on an update, and I think the timeline was similar to what Ross Young said. So we will see what happens, but if you have a studio display come October, I'd be selling that bad boy. Maybe November in preparation. Actually, I don't even know if I would wait till November. October might be pushing it, to be honest with you, because if it comes out at the end of this year, it's probably going to come out in October or November. It's going to be before the holiday season, right? So maybe at the end of the summer, if you don't need it day to day,
You
it
should
might be something to
read
cut
the
loose
rest of the story, Airfun, because that's all in there, referencing the release date.
Yeah.
Codenamed J427, the monitor will launch in 2026, featuring roughly the same size screen as the previous one. Gurman also says, sorry to all you Mac Pro owners out there, both of you, Apple is not working on a Pro Display XDR refresh on a priority. This is due to its high price tag, which puts it out of reach for most customers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't say. And he also believes that Apple will, quote, probably eventually get around to offering a bigger iMac, which
That's pretty
is
solid.
You heard it here first, folks.
Probably
yeah,
eventually.
they're probably doing that. No, I don't think so. Sorry to all you big iMac fans. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. At least not anytime
That's
soon.
a shame. Honestly, that's a shame.
Yeah. It would be cool. And I think it would sell well, too. I think people
Well-
would love a larger screen iMac.
The great thing about the new Mac Mini is that it's much cuter than an iMac.
Okay.
That's
That's
why
true.
you buy that instead. And I fully endorse that. The Mac Mini is a great computer.
Which, is kind of the path that people have. You buy a Mac Mini, then you buy a display.
And you
It
can buy
would-
Apple's display or you can buy a different display. There's a
buy
lot
whatever
of great
display you want.
high resolution.
Oh, dude,
Retina
there's so
displays
many
coming out these
great
days.
QD OLED displays on the market now. Like, I can't show you guys the one I'm using for the Cult Commander, but it's 34-inch wide. What are the dimensions? I can't remember. It's not 4K. I think it's like 3440 by like 1440. I can never remember actual monitor
Yeah, so
displays.
it says QD OLED, but the pixels are giant on that thing. I can't imagine.
I don't see any pixels, but yes, it's not Retina level. But dude, the colors and everything on this monitor are just absolutely outstanding. And I bought this monitor I think for like $800 or $900, which I thought was a great deal. And I recently saw it on sale for $550. It's an Alienware model. So there's some really great monitors out there. Like you don't have to get the Apple, display. I mean, depending on the type of work you're doing, you may want to get the Apple display, but
There's a
you don't
display
need it.
coming out soon from ViewSonic that has the same resolution as the Apple Studio display, 5120 by 2880, 27 inches, but it has a higher refresh rate at 75 hertz instead of 60 hertz.
Oh,
And it's only going to cost $800. So
Okay.
I'm excited for that one.
75 hertz. It's like it's basically 60, but okay.
Well, it's 5K.
That was the one thing that we forgot to mention, I think, on the iPhone 16e. No promotion. No, I did mention that. So 60 hertz only. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the Vision Pro. Griffin's excited. Look at him. He's glowing. We got some big Vision Pro updates coming down the pipe. Oh my gosh, look at this picture. It's a great picture.
That is okay.
Should make
I
that
should
the album
reference-
art.
The picture is a picture that I used in a review or like some big long article, and I buried that picture like way at the very bottom of the article, only as like, oh, if you read the entire thing, then you get that weird looking picture of me wearing my Vision Pro with a head strap thing. But then Rajesh, he just starts using that picture as the lead image on all these stories about the
And
Vision
why
Pro.
not?
Yeah.
Look at it. It's a great picture.
Anyways, a
Reduce,
Bloomberg report
reuse,
details
recycle.
that Apple will bring its AI suite of features to the Vision Pro with visionOS 2.4 in April. Apple Intelligence on the Vision Pro will bring the same features as seen on the iPhone, iPad, and Mac. Writing tools, Genmoji, Image Playground. This is my favorite line in the article. None of these features will drastically change how you use the mixed reality headset or significantly enhance its functionality. However, they mark Apple's first step in expanding its AI capabilities beyond the iPhone and Mac lineup.
Sure.
Yeah. visionOS 2.4, this is what I'm really excited for, will reportedly add a new app to view spatial content on the Vision Pro from other sources, and it will revamp guest mode, giving you full control over the onboarding process from an iPhone. So you don't have to, spend 5 minutes futzing around trying to figure it out on your Vision Pro before you take it off and then
Oh yeah, that was annoying.
That's
put it
nice.
on. Like,
Mhm.
currently, you can only manage guest access on the headset itself, and you only have two options, like picking which apps people can access. Like you can either pick the apps that are currently open, or just give them unfettered access to your entire Vision Pro. Like, yeah, sure, read my email and messages. Like, reportedly in visionOS 2.4, you'll be able to like actually pick from a list. So that'll be nice.
Are you excited about any of this stuff besides the new guest features?
I actually am a little excited for the writing tools on the Vision Pro. I do occasionally use those.
Okay.
Just because it can, if you've never used the Apple Intelligence writing tools, there's a few things that it's really great at. With the latest update where you can describe a specific change, you can be really precise with the changes you want. Like in WordPress, when we're on Cult of Mac, like the, whatever thing in WordPress always wants us to have like a certain percentage of like sentences written in active voice to increase the readability of it. And so I'll just like select random sentences and just bring up the writing tools and say, make this active voice, because I don't entirely understand the difference, but it just does it for me. But you can also say, make this sentence title case if you want to, like, if you're writing a headline.
That's actually
or,
handy. Yeah.
You know, it has a few tricks up its sleeve.
Cool. Well, when we get it on the actual Vision Pro, you'll have to give us another review and let us know if it improves the experience. I'm excited to see what comes next for Vision Pro. Hopefully they shrink it and integrate the battery into it in some way where it doesn't require having to carry a fanny pack, but we shall see. All right, should we go ahead and wrap up with the prediction game results? Now I'm feeling pretty good. From the clues that Griffin's been dropping during the show, I think that I might have pulled away with this one, Lewis. I don't want to make you
I mean, it's
upset.
the first time for everything, right?
Oh, first time this week, you mean?
So you can find a link in the show notes to bring up the prediction game results, or you can go to dgriffinjones.com. That'll be the first post there. Let's see. These are the results for the predictions we made last week before we knew what the event was really going to be, or how many products would even be there, or what they would be at all. So we knew maybe the least going into this one as we ever have.
Yeah, this was a tough one, a super tough one.
Starting with the iPhone section, we almost ran into an irritating like rules lawyery situation here. Because I wrote all of these predictions saying updated iPhone SE. iPhone SE has dynamic island. iPhone SE has action button and camera control. And we probably would have debated for a while whether any of these picks are true or not, because, well, the iPhone SE isn't called the iPhone SE. It's called the iPhone 16e.
Yeah.
But luckily, all of the predictions that I wrote didn't come true anyways.
Okay.
Wow.
For
Not
the ones
one?
that reference iPhone SE. Updated iPhone SE comes in multiple fun colors. No, it comes in 2 colors and none of them are fun. iPhone SE has a dynamic island. No, it doesn't. iPhone SE has action button and camera control. No, it doesn't. iPhone SE costs $499. No, it doesn't. I correctly voted against a few of these. Lewis and I both correctly predicted
Lewis
that it
is
would
pulling
be called
ahead.
the C1 chip.
No, I'm not.
Erfan correctly voted against having the camera control. So at the end of the iPhone round, I have 3 points. Lewis has 2 points. Erfan has 1 point.
Griffin's pulling ahead.
That'll change.
So I think I'm
on.
seeing a pattern here. It's like I lost on the iPhone predictions, but you guys thought a bunch of other stuff was on the way and none of it happened, which is how I won. Let's see.
Okay, let's move on to the iPad section. You may have noticed, if you listened to the last 50 minutes of the show, that we didn't talk about the iPad. That's because nothing happened with the iPad. So let's see. New iPad Air is announced with an M4 chip. I incorrectly thought that would happen. Erfan and Lewis voted against it. New iPad Air has Face ID. There's no new iPad Air. New low-end Magic Keyboard announced. Nope. 11th generation iPad announced. Nope. So out of that, Erfan gets 4 points. Lewis gets 3 points. I get 2 points.
Oh, Lewis.
Pulling ahead.
Then we move on to the other products section. Erfan, I'm just going to jump the gun here. Erfan gets 7 points in this section by voting against everything. Lewis and I incorrectly voted for an M4 MacBook Air. I stupidly voted for a HomePod with a screen. Lewis, I don't know why, voted for AirTag 2. I incorrectly voted for new Apple Watch band colors. So Erfan has 7 points. I get 4 points. Lewis gets 5. Then we move on to the miscellaneous.
This is closer than I thought it was going to be.
Super close. Yeah, I can't believe it.
You think it's close so far. We move on to the miscellaneous category. iOS 18.4 beta is released. Now, according to Mark Gurman, I almost got a point here.
Almost.
Because
That's what count as
Gurman
half,
says
right?
that 18.4 was supposed to release on Tuesday, but was delayed again along with the.
So technically you
slightly
won.
smarter
Well, technically you
theory.
didn't win, but I see your point. Like you were on the path to get it right, and a last minute flub caused me and Lewis to get the point. Wow. Okay.
Didn't we already know that they were having problems with Siri, though, which is supposed to be like the main banner feature of this? Oh, Siri's going to be slightly smarter.
I think that came out on like Sunday after we did the show. I was absolutely convinced that iOS 18.4 was going to come out. I was thought, oh, I'm totally going to get a point here. That two of you are going to lose a big.
Must have
point
been
there.
heartbreaking.
Nope.
Wow.
Lewis incorrectly predicted that the iPhone 16e would be carbon neutral. We both incorrectly predicted that there was going to be more announcements on other days of the week than Wednesday. Erfan and I get a point that they released a keynote video, but in this last section, Erfan gets 4 more points. Lewis gets 1 point. I get 2. So the winner is
That's got to be
with
my highest score
16
ever.
points. Erfan, Lewis, and I have 11 points.
16E. It all makes sense.
Finally, it's all coming
that's
together.
the bonus thing. You guessed the actual name of the device.
Well, look, I made
is
sure
some
that my
next
score
level.
and first initial matched matched the name of the phone. That was intentional. That was
That is
strategic.
4-dimensional chess for sure. Maybe 5-dimensional.
You know, I have to share this this trophy with Flark Sherman. Because there was a single tweet that he released, I think, before we did the show, basically saying nothing was coming out but the iPhone, and that positioned me to take it away. Because I was like, I think that's probably true, and I know that Mark gets the stuff pretty accurate when we're this close to the release, and that one singular tweet, it won me the gold. So I'd like to share this with Mark. I'm gonna message him afterwards and thank him.
Congratulations to the 3 listeners who scored 17 points, Michael Dennis, Chuck, and now 2-time winner, Shane Lother.
Wow.
Wow.
That's bonkers. So
They
wait,
have,
all 3 scored 17 points.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Here's what they had to say. Michael Dennis says, I included on the form, like, hey, is there anything you want to plug on the show if you win?
Yeah.
Michael Dennis wrote, keep buying CultCloths. They're the best.
I knew I liked this Michael Dennis guy. He should have got more points.
Shane Lother says, love the show, longtime listener. I recently switched to a Samsung phone. Bring me on as a guest and we can talk about the experience.
Okay, do you have his IP address? We need to get that banned right away. I'll see if I can get that into the podcast blacklist, all right?
So
Any other comments?
That is a prediction game.
Okay. I
Chuck,
definitely recognize these names, too.
In the form that asked, do you have anything you'd like to plug or promote on the show? Chuck wrote, no.
Okay. That's what he wanted us to share. His pessimism. There you go, Chuck. Wow. Bonkers. 17 points. You know, there's 3 of them. We should just hand over the reins to them and let them do the show from now on. Something to consider, at least for product announcement weeks. All right, well, that was fun. And thank you all for participating. Don't forget, you can send us a text in the show notes. If you want to send us a message, it's super easy to do, and we'll be reading those on the show as they, come in. So that would be fun to do. That's it. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. But don't worry. You can always come hang out with us in the very exclusive Cult Club, which should now actually be working. All you have to do is fork it over, my friend. Just $5 a month at support.thecultcast.com, support.thecultcast.com, or cultof9to5macrumors.com, at least until the litigation is concluded. I want to thank everyone for listening and for hanging out live. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. We'll see you all in the text messages. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we will see you next time. Oh, we just got a message that just came in. Look at this. It says, can you please talk about Irfan's workout regimen? His buys and his tries are absolutely out of this world. His pecs remind me of Terry Crews. How does he bounce up and down so fast? Wow. You can see that from under my jacket. You didn't get that one? You should reinstall your app. It must be not working on your phone. Oh, never mind. That was just a regular text message. It came from Alexi Heath's mom. My bad. I got confused. She does like to send me nice notes of that type. It's a thing that she does. What can I say? She's so in love. All right, everyone. That's it. Catch you next time. Bye, y'all.